Hi everyone, welcome back. Well, I've been working along here in the engine compartment, and the last few days I got quite a bit cleaned up in here. Radiators in, bolted in permanently, fan shroud, fan, pulleys, got all that worked out. Got a few more brackets to do. I got to do the alternator bracket, but I want to work on the base for the air cleaner today. Of course, we're doing the Commando Formula S valve covers and air cleaner. But with the throttle body injection, I need to make a custom base so I can get the lid on top. So let me show you some of the things I have kicking around that I'm going to try and make work. So this is the factory air cleaner. This is actually got off of a Dart Charger 273. I have the correct decal. It'll say Commando when I'm done. And this is the base, which of course is a smaller diameter, and it won't fit. See? Much smaller. So the one thing I don't want to do is I don't want to cut this. I could do that, make it fit, make it work. This is a nice piece. It's a factory piece. I'm going to hang on to this because what if someday I want to put the correct manifold and carburetor back on this? I'm going to want this. So what do? Well, first thing first is I went through all the air filters I have, and I want to use the correct one. A couple different ones. That's a Mopar filter here, correct replacement number for these cars, and you can tell this one has a much wider kind of a gasket at the top, and it helps fit into the top of the air cleaner lid quite well. Actually, centers it nicely. This is a Hastings filter, and of course your Fram. One thing I noticed about the Fram, oh my goodness. I mean, look at the pleats in these. This thing is light. It's a CA162. Here's another Fram. This is a CA160. Same diameter, but it's a different height. And I want to use the correct height one if I can. I have this one. It's pretty much the same as the Mopar one. The only markings I could find on it were that. So this is what I'm going to use. Now, for a base, I have, whoops, this base. This is a full-size air cleaner base that came off of any modern 4-barrel car. And I ran this for quite some time with this lid. I just cut the outside of it off, cut this down, fit it in there. Life is good, right? And it fits right on here quite nicely. Worked quite well with this stud that I have. And I could put that back on if I had to, but I'm not because it doesn't look right. Now, this is an adapter that came with the throttle body. I'm sure most GMs had this for some reason. Is it necessary? Yes and no. The trick is getting the lid on correctly. So it sits down and you can close the hood. So I did an eyeball. Fortunately, I have something I can use to eyeball with. So looking straight across the top of the air cleaner, you can see the seam where the cowl meets the firewall. And that's factory Formula S, Carter carburetor, correct manifold, very low. So that's about where I want the air cleaner lid on red to sit. So I put a nut on there. Just sit this down. And coming down, might be just a little bit higher, but that's pretty close. So that's pretty good. And if I need to come up and down, I got a little bit of movement. Down here I got a fairly thick kind of a gasket. That can be changed out, give me a little more room if I need to adjust some. So I need to make the base. And we've established I don't want to cut the original. Now, this one with its multiple, bends and twists and dented things in it would work. if I could hammer all this down flat. That's a lot of bends, a lot of sharp edges to make right. So now if I put this back on, you know, when you're not filming and you're putting it on and off, it happens without a problem. Now I have this base, came with some generic air cleaner assembly I got a long time ago, and it's intended to go like that. That sits up pretty high. I mean, crazy high. But if I flip it like this, let's see, I think we're still hitting the throttle position sensor just a little bit. So I got to do something about that. But if I were to kind of raise it up a little bit more, because that's about all I need. So if I raise this up a little bit to get it off the throttle position sensor, like right there, that should work. So if I put the filter on, that's just kind of fudging it. And I put the lid on. Well, I'm not going to get it because I got to cut this. What I'm going to do is, using the full thickness filter, using this one here, I'm going to take this air cleaner base, flipped upside down like this, and I'm going to try and hammer this area flat all the way around. I'm going to cut it right around here, and I should be able to make the lip, just like the factory base, so that the filter fits right in and sits nice and tight. So that's what we're going to do today. All right, I'm going to use a couple of different tools for this. A couple of different hammers. I have a nylon. It's got a couple of hard surfaces on it. Regular ball peenage. Got an old body hammer here I might use. Of course, I have all of my regular body hammers and the dollies, and these are all going to come in handy trying to straighten everything out. I also have this guy, nice flat surface that'll help flatten that area out. And I'm going to use a couple of different things here. I'm going to use a big socket on some of the round areas. And this is one 40-pound, 45-pound chunk of just steel beam that I have kicking around the shop that I use kind of as an anvil. So I'm going to start by trying to flatten this edge out where it's going to sit on the top of the throttle body, and then start flattening things out. All right, starting to get a nice shape to it. Starting to get flatter. Needs a lot more work, obviously. What I did was I centered the air filter, took a measurement all the way around, and just kind of drew the outline of the Sharpie. So now I know where I need to be flatter all the way around. And then when that's all set, then I can just double check this ring and then the outer side, and then we can start bending it up. What I may do before I start doing that is cut this outer lip off here and go from there, and then keep flattening this out. We're making progress. It takes time. It's, you know, one of those things where you don't really pound the, you know, bejesus out of it. And if you notice, I'm probably not showing you very well in time lapse, but not hitting it that hard. Just you know, lift it up every now and then to make sure I'm hitting on the socket. Just kind of, just a little bit, just to start shaping it out. And then I can come over here now and start flattening the bottom part out over here. I'm just, like I said, I'm just using what I got kicking around the shop, right? I don't have a lot of fancy tools for metal shaping, but that's okay, because that's the whole point, is doing more with what you have. All right, I've taken a dolly and put it into the place here. Let me show you this profile. This one here. And that's gonna give me a nice smooth surface to straighten all that out while I go around and flatten it. And I will probably switch to the wider hammer so I get more flatness, flattenization. Yeah, you know the things with the deal and the, you know, the stuff. So give that a shot. See if we can't get it nice and smooth. All right, put it back on the car just to do a quick test fit, just to make sure what our clearances are. Now, it's fitting snug around this intermediate ring, which is a good thing because I have it kind of up a little bit, because my clearance underneath here is just off the throttle position sensor connector now, which is good. So I may have to kind of bend the slip in a little bit. I don't know. We'll see. Let me see, where's my filter? This is probably going to slam down on top of the... Okay. That's not bad. I mean, see where the top of the stud is. And I'm not going to be able to put the lid on because I got to cut this off yet. But I think we're good. I mean, if you look across there, let's see. It's a little high yet. I don't know. Well, let's keep at it and see what we can come up with. And what we may end up doing is doing a test fit, put it on. Once we get this cut fitted better, we'll put the lid on, we'll gently close the hood, maybe put some Play-Doh or something on top of it to see how close we get. Go from there. All right, so I took the pliers and bent this flange up. And you can see it dimpled here, and that's okay because we're going to want to kind of flatten these out, kind of shrink it down, and I'm just going to hammer on it with a dolly. Not sure which one of those I'm going to use yet, but we're going to try and kind of fold them over, shrink it down basically by hand with my limited skill set, and see what we can't make happen. Well, I've tried a few other things here, and hammering on the inside of the lip seems to help bring it up more of a 90 degree and kind of shrink it down a little bit. Okay, base is on, filter's in place. Let's put the lid on. Oh, look at that. My fancy schmancy nut here. Let's see what we can see here, if anything. I think it looks okay. Okay, we're closed. I think we're okay. I can probably get away with a different nut there for sure. I mean, I made that years ago. That's out of a, it's an old knob from the dash. I just kind of drilled it out and tapped it out, 1/4 and it fits just fine. But I think I will probably go to a regular old wing nut so it sits a little lower. But I think we're a little higher than the factory by a little bit. And I think if we had the hood pad on, it would be sticking into the hood pad, which is why we have a little extra clearance in this recessed area here. I may live with this just like this. All right, well, we'll still have more to do. We're close, like really close. I just wanted to take some of the edge off of this from the cutting. And it's still got some dings and dents and stuff in there that I need to do a little bit more tapping on. It is flatter now. A lot of the working with it, let's see, this is the top. I had wasn't flat on the bottom where this sat all the way across. So now you can look on the outside edge, if you can get that. The outside edge is flat as well as the inside edge, right up against the bottom base. So that's what I'm really going for. That's flat, it'll seal nicely. That's good. The last thing I need to really do is get this flange level. Got kind of a low spot right there, so I'm working on that. And I mean, honestly, are you going to see all that ugliness when it's at a car show? No, you're not going to see it. I'll know it's there. So that's why I want to get this a little bit better. And I don't know how much smoother I'm going to get this with the tools that I have. I mean, you really need to have a good anvil And there's a reason why you buy dollies and they're polished, right? Same thing with your big body hammers, why they're polished like that, is so that when you're doing the metal, you're not leaving any dents or dings in it. If you're using, you know, like I'm doing, socket, or the back of the vise, or this hunk of steel here, there's imperfections in it. It's not smooth, it's not polished. And I could take time to do that, but I'm just really roughing this out right now and seeing what I can make. And so far, I'm pleased with what I have. Well, there you have it. Now, it's not completed. I have to do a bit more dinging on it, try to clean it up a little bit more. I want to bring the lip down a little closer to the base so it's not sticking up so high. But I have a base, and I can use my Commando air cleaner and complete the look of the engine, which is what I wanted to do. Now, I am no metal fabricator by any stretch, but I think I just proved that with just whatever you have in your garage, you can make something work, right? And that's kind of what I've been telling everybody all along, is make it happen, right? Do it yourself, save yourself money. Now, if you want to learn more about, you know, metalworking on your own from home with making your own tools, check out Make It Custom YouTube channel. Karl Fisher, he turns out some pretty cool looking cars, and he teaches us all how to do this stuff at home, how to make simple tools. That's kind of one of his coolest things, is he's done this for a long time, a lot longer than I have. He makes it look wicked easy. But shout out to Karl, just watching your videos, loving it. Helped me do this. As ugly as it came out, right now it's functional, which is kind of what was my goal. So there you have it. If you like what we're doing here on this channel, consider subscribing, smash the like button, and I'll catch you next time.